Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Baggett, and I am a Revolutionary War author and living historian from Kentucky. And today I want to give you a little bit of introduction before we start reading together. Uh, an introduction of my book. My first novel that I ever wrote is Brothers and Warriors. It's actually book one in the Patriots of the American Revolution series. It's a thematic series that tells the stories of ordinary American patriots who took part in the rebellion against England that eventually gave birth to our United States of America. My unique approach to the American Revolution is that my characters in all of my books, all my novels, are actually people, men and women from my family tree or from my wife's family tree. So it is our ancestors, and you might guess it'd be hard to do one storyline featuring all these different people and weave it into one. I chose not to do that. I call it a series, but it's a thematic series. It's not a character-driven series. So every one of my books actually has a brand new cast of characters. It's a different location, a different setting altogether. And so I like a beginning and an end to a story. And so that's what I try to do in each of my books. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background about Brothers and Warriors so you'll understand how I found these characters and why I decided to write a book about them. I've always loved Revolutionary War history, and genealogy is also a passion of mine, and I kind of started combining the two as I searched my tree for patriot ancestors. And in part of my investigations I stumbled across a family by the name of Hamilton living in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, in the late 1770s, early 1780s. I descended from a fellow named John Hamilton, not to be confused, obviously, with the John Hamilton. There were many John Hamiltons, but these were some backwoods fellows who lived out on Roddy Creek, just out in the backwoods of Mecklenburg County, North Carolina. And I started finding interesting things about these characters. There were three teenage boys. The oldest one was roughly 18 years old. They were living alone on their own farm. They were apart from family. um, I found documents on them. The oldest brother, named James, had a pension describing his service in the American Revolution. I found pay records for John. I also found a record where John made a contribution of corn to the Patriot cause as a farmer. And I started to investigate deeper. I found their father's will. He died actually when they were small boys. And I found the documents whereby he left various things to different people in his life. I was actually able to include some of those things in my story. And it just seemed like an interesting dynamic to me and a very uniquely American story. And it was one that I wanted to tell. And so I'd attempted many, many times to write things. I always had it in my mind to write a book of some sort. But this particular winter, that was the winter of 2015-16, I actually sat down and I would say put pen to paper or quill to paper, but I didn't because I use a MacBook Pro. But I wrote this book in about 2.5 months, and fell in love with the characters as I went. The story just poured out of me, and it was the beginning of my writing. And I've since penned six other novels in this series. I'm working on another one right now, so seven total in print. I also write companion books for younger readers. As I complete each one of these, I pull out a child character and tell a story from their perspective. I have another series set on the Kentucky frontier for younger readers. And I've started a mystery series that I call The Liberty Lads, which is kind of a knockoff on the Hardy Boys, but I'm not going to apologize for that because the Hardy Boys books, they helped me fall in love with reading some 40, 50 years ago. And so, but that's just to give you, just to wet your whistle a little bit, I suppose, about Brothers and Warriors. And I invite you to come back here next time when we actually commence to reading it together. And so this it's out on audio. Of course, you can find this book on Amazon in print or on Kindle. But I have a reader who performed this book for me, but I just thought I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to create my own place here on YouTube and start reading my own books and perhaps reach another audience of readers altogether. And so I invite you to come back next time and join me as we start reading Brothers and Warriors, the Patriots of the American Revolution series, book number 1.